He proposed to me. Just days later, I found out I was pregnant with our baby. But before I could tell him, he cheated on me. Right in the next room. I thought my world was over, until karma ripped his entire life apart. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you loved, hit that like button, because this story is for you. And trust me, by the end, you're going to believe in karma. I was 19, almost 20, when I decided to confess my feelings to the boy I had loved since middle school. Let's call him DN. For 7 years, I carried a torch for him. Quietly. We kissed once when we were kids, but he never made a move, and I never wanted to ruin the friendship. When I finally gathered the courage to tell him, I expected rejection. Maybe awkward silence. Maybe the end of our friendship. Instead, he told me he had always felt the same way. That he had been scared. That he never knew how to approach me. My heart exploded with joy. This wasn't just a crush anymore. It was a second chance at destiny. Soon, we were together. Friends cheered us on. Finally! You two are the perfect couple. Months later, DN proposed, and I said yes without hesitation. I began packing up my life in the Pacific Northwest, preparing to move back to Alaska. I shipped boxes, left my job, and planned my future with DN. Then, just days before my final move, I took a pregnancy test. Positive. I was carrying our baby. Overjoyed, I called DN to tell him the news. But before I could, he launched into a story about some cool new girl he'd met at a party. My heart sank. Something felt wrong. That night, when I tried to call again, I couldn't reach him. The next morning, he admitted the truth. He cheated. With her. I dropped the phone and vomited. The man who had proposed to me. The father of my unborn child. He didn't even care to hear my news. And then, as if betrayal wasn't enough, I miscarried. Despite the heartbreak, I had to fly to Alaska to collect my belongings. DN didn't even bother picking me up at the airport. I sat alone until an elderly couple noticed me crying and asked if I was okay. When I reached his house, his roommate, let's call him BM, let me in. DN was passed out in his room, and then the unthinkable DN brought her, the other woman, into the house, introduced her as if I was just a friend. Night after night, I lay on the couch, listening to them together in his room, within earshot, within the same walls where he had asked me to marry him. It broke something inside me. I had sacrificed everything for him. My job, my family, my future. And in return, he erased me like I had never mattered. That's when the anger set in. White hot. Cold-blooded. I wasn't going to scream. I wasn't going to beg. I was going to make him feel small. One night, during another party, I saw my chance. I got his new girlfriend. Let's call her Thote. Alone. Before she got drunk. Before Dian noticed. And I seduced her. Yes. In Dian's own room. Behind his back. Afterwards, I looked her in the eye and told her everything. How I had known DN for years. How he had proposed to me. How I was supposed to be moving in to build a life with him. And how he had cheated on me. With her. Her face drained of color. She realized she had been lied to. Used just like me. I left her with one final cutting line. If he could do this to me, after years of knowing me, imagine what he'll do to you. When Dian asked me the next day what I was doing with her, I smirked and said, "She was an easy piece of ass. Same as you." The look on his face, like his soul had shriveled. And in that moment, I had my justice. Or so I thought. I left Alaska soon after, my belongings shipped back home, I never saw thought again. But 5 years later, DN found me online. And that's when he spilled everything. Karma didn't just tap him, it obliterated him. Thought cheated on him with his best friend, then moved in with him. His boss, another mutual friend, fired him on Christmas Eve after hearing what he'd done to me. His truck broke down, was impounded, and he couldn't afford to get it back. His own family disowned him. His friends threw a party, got him drunk, beat him, and left him outside in the snow. Broke, homeless, friendless, shunned. He had to flee Alaska entirely, moving to Texas to escape his ruined life. And then, on the phone with me, he broke down sobbing. That's when I told him about the baby, the one he never cared to ask about, the one I lost while he was in bed with her. He cried harder than I've ever heard a man cry. Ugly, broken sobs. Apologies that never ended. And all I said was, "You didn't know, because you didn't care to know. Today, I see it clearly. He was never love. He was a narcissist, incapable of empathy. My revenge wasn't just seducing the other woman. My revenge was keeping my composure, planting doubt, letting karma do the heavy lifting. 5 years later, his tears watered the grave of a child we never had, and I finally felt free. So tell me, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And if you believe karma is real, hit subscribe, because we've got even more stories that prove justice always comes around.